Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today is October 18, 2021. We will talk about trading stocks and options using TTM Squeeze indicator by John Carter. So with that, let's jump in here and look at the big market picture. From a major news perspective, futures are indicating Dow Jones Industrial Average is going to be lower today, as well as S&P 500 and Nasdaq. All the futures are lower today and pointing to a lower opening. It's expected after a couple of days of nice gain, so it's a little bit of profit taking here. And oil and the 10-year treasury both are going higher today. Oil has been up for a long time, which is a very strong sector right now. And there are some macro news here. Inflation is kind of on the watch here. But investors expect both Fed and European Central Bank to keep rates low for long. That's a good news there. And big banks beat on the earnings. They made a lot of money, especially banks like Wells Fargo and even Morgan Stanley. They've done great, and even Goldman Sachs for that matter. And we got racing oil here that will squeeze the profit. And we got supply chain issues, semiconductor shortage, labor shortage that will also impact. We got supply chain bottlenecks. These are some big picture items that we have to think about and invest carefully. And on the positive news, we got J&J booster. It's approved by FDA here. And we got a lot of earnings coming up. And don't be surprised if some of your tech darlings talk about the shortage and guide downwards. And home prices are cooling off. We should probably look at some home builders here. So with that, let's look at big trends here. This is to really look at big ETF and indices and see what we can make out. So as you look through here at the top, we got a couple major indices here. S&P 500 on a monthly basis, it's down here. A little bit weakness here. We should watch carefully. And same story with QQQ, which is the Nasdaq 100. It's also a little bit weaker on a monthly basis. And we got here Russell 2000. It's positive for the month, but it gave an indicator that market might open up lower today because IWM was down on Friday, even though we had SPY and QQQ up. So that's a big market picture for you. And from a sector perspective, as you can look through here, energy is leading the way here, doing very well. That's why there is some inflation people are worried about. And we got here oil again leading the way. And precious metals, think about gold, silver. Off late, they're making a comeback here. We got to look at them carefully. And then we got here XLC. Think about AT&T, Verizon, Google, and your favorite social media play. They're all down here. We should look at some good names here. Retail is all over the map. They are, some of them are ugly, some of them are okay. We should look at some of those names there. So with that, let's jump in here, look at TTM Squeeze indicator. On a nutshell here, what you're saying is energy is doing well here. And areas like Nasdaq and utilities and as you can see here, XLC, they are not doing so great here. So with that, what is TTM Squeeze? TTM Squeeze is an indicator to tell you when a market is going to shift from a trading range to either higher or lower. So we got to look at the red dots here. Red dots will tell you there is some compression in volatility. When you see a red dot, you got to see what the longer term C wave is doing. If the longer term C wave is above zero, like what you see here, this is the zero line here. If it is above zero, then it's a bullish sign. And we typically look at both 1 day, 3 day, 1 week, 1 month, so that way you get a good picture. In a day time frame, 1 day chart, if you see a red dot, if the longer term C wave is above zero, the rally will start, will last for a couple of days. If you look at a like 3 day or a week, if you see a red dot and A wave is above zero, that rally will continue for maybe a multiplier of 3 days, 3, 6, 9, think that way. or if we see in weekly chart, it's 1 week, 2 weeks, it's a longer term trend. So in a daily time frame, it's a shorter term trend. As you go to 3 day, 1 week, 1 month, these are longer term trends. So keep that in mind, and take it from there. And here are the stocks, and stocks that have this TTM squeeze indicator. As you look through here at the top, you got AHT, Ashford. Ashford is a $14 stock. Stock has been down. It's a duds for a long time, as you can see here. But see what's going on in 1 day. In 1 day, stock is turning around, and we got a longer term 1 month time frame. There's a TTM squeeze indicator that's fired. So that's why we got to look at some of these names here and see if this fires in the right direction. This trend can last for a couple months. So we got to be careful here, and we can go into thinkorswim and figure that out. So let's quickly go to thinkorswim and look at the broader market picture, and then jump into some of these names here. So as you go into thinkorswim here, from a broader market perspective, as you can see here, after a couple nice big days here, today there is a lower opening in S&P 500 indicated by the futures here. And we got lower opening in Nasdaq. Same story after a couple nice days here. Lower opening here and lower opening in Dow Jones, as well as lower opening in Russell 2000. And if you look at the bonds quickly here, let's quickly go to bonds. There you go. Alright, so from a bond market perspective, as you can see here, bonds are also weaker. As you see here, interest rates are going higher. Because interest rates are going higher, stock market is taking it on their chin. That's why we have a lower opening here. And if you look through here, crude oil is a rocket ship here. This is causing some inflation pressures on the market. And then you got here gold. Gold is down here. I would be willing to buy some gold names here. Given these are down big, it's good to buy some gold here. So with that, let's jump in and look at some of these stocks here. So from a TTM squeeze perspective, we got Ashford here. Looks like it's doing well from a sales perspective. We got rule of 40, rule of 40 here. Satisfied with the. It's actually not satisfied yet, because we got sales growth 3.41, gross margin 6%, but both are positive here. So we can look at some of these names here and see if it's worth buying them here. So with that, let's jump in here, look at AHT and go to thinkorswim here. All right, let's look at AHT. So AHT, as you look here, we got a squeeze forming in a monthly on a 3-day chart here. As you can see here, when the squeeze is forming, we got a longer term C wave below zero, and see here trending upwards here. So here, what I typically do in this type of scenario, because it's trending upwards in the longer term C wave, and even shorter term A wave is also kind of trending upwards, it's above zero, you can be a contrarian here, and you could buy some AHT and go from there. Clearly, per John Carter's book, it may not be a right one to buy, but given the wave is turning ahead, many people look at the wave instead of just whether it's up or down. Since the wave is improving and going on the positive side here, as you can see, it's curving up, and shorter term A wave is above zero, you could be a contrarian and buy some AHT here and take it from there. So as I go back here, AHT here, institutions are buying. They know what's going on. They want to be ahead of the curve. That's why institutions are buying right now, even though from a TTM squeeze perspective, clearly it's below zero from a wave perspective. I would be a contrarian, buy some Ashford here and take it from there. And we got Sunworks here. As you look through here, Sunworks has got a RSI of 51, and looks like it had a nice move of 12% in last 5 days, and we got a 1 day squeeze here. So as you look through here, let's go back to TTM Squeeze here and Sunworks. So Sunworks, as you look through here, we got a squeeze in a daily chart. When the squeeze is forming, shorter term, longer term A waves below zero. So here also there is no clear signal per John Carter. But one thing to notice here, see here, from a curve perspective, on the negative side below zero, the dark blue means it's improving. So it's improving. So you could take advantage of this and buy some Sunworks. Even though if it's not clearly, it's clearly below zero, but there's an improvement from a wave perspective. You could take advantage and buy some Sunworks here. As I go through here, go back to think chart here, we got some more here. So we got Darden, one of my favorite restaurant play here. Darden has been weak of late, as you can see here, and it's got a weekly squeeze. The moment you see a weekly squeeze, that tells you the trend can last for a couple of weeks. So let's go back and look at Darden here, DRI. So as you look through the Darden, as you see here, we got a squeeze in the weekly chart here. When the squeeze is in the weekly chart, as you look through here, longer term C wave is above zero, shorter term A wave is trying to go above zero. Clearly, Darden is a good play here. You could take advantage and buy some Darden here and go from there. If you look at a yearly chart, it's down right now, but right now it's a go for Darden here. And let's go back here. We can look at one or two more, and you could play this at your leisure time. So we got a few more. I love stocks like even Hecla is good here. It's a, as you can see here, stock has done great. And we got a few more. Pinterest is one of my favorite here. We got Elanco, which is into animal health. And we got a few more. I love Amazon.com here, given RSI is just 47. It's also a good buy here. We got CARR. It's also a great one here. I think we should look at buying CARR into this year. Let's look at CARR and go back to Thinkorswim here. So as you look through CARR here, nice looking chart. We got a squeeze in a daily chart here. When the squeeze is forming, look what's happening to the longer term A wave. It's trending down. So I would not buy CARR here, given it's a trending down from a C wave, longer term C wave perspective. I would rather wait a little bit and look at improvement. But shorter term A wave is telling you it may be okay to buy. If you're a contrarian, you could buy slowly into CARR. Given it's a longer term, it's a good play, but there is some weakness in the shorter term here. And as you look through here, we got a few more. We got Zynga, which is one of my favorite video game play here. Zynga has been down for a long time, as you can see here. We got a weekly squeeze here. The squeeze or the trend can last for a couple of weeks. So if I go to ZNGA here, so we got a weekly squeeze right here, as you can see. And okay, clearly there is no weekly squeeze right now. And stock is kind of, it's down big time here. You could take advantage of this. Let's go to a bigger chart here and look at Zynga. So if you look at Zynga here, momentum wise, it's improving right now, and implied vol is 30, which is okay. IV percentile right now it's negative, and on the balance volume is picking up. Smart money is pouring in. So with that, you could buy Zynga and take it from there. And as you look through here, we got a few more. We got Cisco here. Cisco is trying to improve in the near term. That could be a good one to look at. And we got a few more here. We got Activision Blizzard, one of my favorite stock here, trying to turn around after a drop here. You could look at Activision Blizzard here, a $76 stock. Let's quickly go into Thinkorswim here, ATVI. So by looking at ATVI, stock is trying to improve here, and right now it's negative from a DMI perspective with the red line on the top, blue line on the bottom, but trying to turn positive. On the balance, volume is increasing, telling you people are buying into this stock. And if you look at the TTM chart here quickly, all right. So from a TTM chart perspective, as you look through here, we got a squeeze forming. Let me see right here on the daily chart here. When the squeeze is forming right now, the longer term A wave is below zero. That tells you got to wait and watch a little bit. But shorter term A wave is above zero. You can be a contrarian and buy a little bit. There is no clear signal here, but still I think it's trying to turn around slowly. So you could take advantage and buy some Activision Blizzard here. Then as you scan through here, we got a couple more here. We got Intuit, which is one of my favorite here. And we got IDEX. IDEX is a $1 stock. As you can see here, it's got a monthly squeeze. So, and also same story with Opco Health. We could take advantage of some of those trends here and buy into them. And we got monthly squeeze in AMRN, which is a $5 stock here. Let's look at AMRN quickly and take it from there. So AMRN, we got a monthly squeeze, telling you there is a something going on here on a monthly time frame. And as you look through here, clearly stock is let's see here. Stock is not doing much right now. It's trying to improve. So here also you can be contrarian by looking at the wave here. Wave is trying to curve up here. Same story. And it's here also trying to kind of, hard to notice here. It's showing some improvement here. You could be a contrarian here and buy Amarin here and take it from there. So with that, you could look at some of these lists here. I also love many of these names here. You could buy them slowly and take advantage of this TTM squeeze indicator here. So with that, thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. Please subscribe.